I'll talk about the downsides of being super lean. I'm talking about having more than just a six-pack. If you're leaner than the guy who has a six-pack, to the point that you have lots of veins popping out, your body fat percentage is less than 10% as a guy, there are some downsides to it. If you're not taking steroids or any other performance-enhancing drugs, and you are staying completely natural, it is very difficult to put on strength. And that also includes muscle too, if you're really lean. I was a little bit leaner before, working at an office job. It was very hard to put on strength overall. I couldn't even put on any more muscle. The only thing I was able to do was maintain it. But I found myself not improving in my squats, my deadlifts. If I were to use the workouts I use today, maybe I might have improvements, but I didn't have knowledge of those exercises back then. But I found that being super lean or having a very low body fat percentage, it affected my performance. Another downside was I was able to get cold easily when I was resting. I did cold showers on a regular basis, but I was able to still get cold as easy as everyone else. I'm not talking about getting sick easily, I'm just talking about feeling cold only. Another downside was because my diet was so restricted, I found my thyroid start to slow down a bit. And the only way to keep it sped up was to have a cheat meal. And then when I have a cheat meal, I don't look as lean temporarily. I know trying to get a six-pack and as ripped as possible looks ideal for the opposite gender, but I find that as you become an adult or become your 30s, no one really cares. So if you're doing this to impress the opposite gender, you're doing yourself some more harm. You can actually still be decently lean with 12 to 15% body fat and still maintain most of the health benefits and the benefits of putting on strength. So I also find with being too lean or aiming to be too lean, it's very hard to get bigger when you're completely natural. And you also won't look as big unless you have a little bit of fat covering up the muscles, because having a little bit of fat can still make you look jacked and make you look even bigger. I didn't see the point of trying to be like really shredded if I'm not competing in the bodybuilding or physique contests, or if I'm not planning to be a model that requires that type of body fat percentage. I want to be able to enjoy foods on a regular basis. I want to be able to be in the calorie surplus a bit more often. I don't like spending the time to count my macros or my micros. I also find that being really lean, it's can make you tired on a regular basis if you try to be this lean for too long. At that time, it's because I didn't have enough natural salt, and my calorie intake was a little too low most of the time, unless I had like a cheat meal. So even going on a low salt diet can temporarily make you look leaner, but if you do it too long, it can make you really tired, and over time make your thyroid slower, and you can actually look fatter later. For someone like me to be super shredded, I would have to follow a strict natural path diet. So that'll be no wheat, no dairy, possibly have to eliminate eggs again, and I have to get all my carbs from any type of rice, potatoes, fruits, vegetables, and that's just being really clean. Or for proteins, I will get from any type of meat, so whether it's beef or chicken liver, whether it's ground beef or chicken breasts. And then fats, I would choose a good quality butter, coconut oil, avocado oil, or any other healthy type of monounsaturated fats or healthy type of saturated fats. Even at one point, I tried doing low carb the entire day and have a carb meal a day I worked out when I worked in an office job. I found that it was so inconvenient for me, and it was very hard to try to arrange meals at the same time trying to have a meal with my family or friends, to have it on certain days. And I could just be the mean guy or be the selfish guy and say, look, I'm going to eat at this day only. But up to a certain point, I'm not like that. Up to a certain point, I want to have my own fitness and I look at myself for it. But there's times you want to enjoy yourself, have decent meals with your friends, your family, even on dates.